Hey guys, Greg here. Little trip to the Goodwill I just went to, and it's kind of ironic because just a few days ago I made a video trashing this Goodwill because they had a pile of moldy and rat-chewed records, and today I stopped by. It's pretty close to the house, and I was surprised to find a box of new stuff. And the bad news is there was this small box that was 2/3 empty, so I'm thinking, oh my gosh, somebody got there before me and got all the good stuff. There's still some pretty good stuff here, some real surprises. So let me show you what I picked up here. Just got home with these 5 minutes ago. Haven't listened to them, but they're in good shape, and they all appear to come from the same collection. So 1971 Free Live. This is a really nice find. All Right Now and some of their other hits on it. This is an interesting die cut sort of fake envelope idea. Still got the original sleeve in it. You know, some of these guys went on to form Bad Company after the guitar player Paul Kossoff died at age 25 of, you know, drugs or something bad. But great band, Free. All right, next we have Al Di Meola, the Spanish-style jazzy guitar player. They put him in the jazz section, but most of his music is not jazz. It's more like flamenco-y, really fast, acoustic-y Spanish guitar. And they had a bunch of his records in this pile, but I had most of them, so I picked up this one. What's it called? I don't even know. Casino. It says right there on the cover. Casino. All right. John McLaughlin. Whoever this person was, they like jazz because they got a good selection of jazz. John McLaughlin. Belo Horizonte, which is a city in Brazil. And the hype sticker here kind of explains that John is up to something new again. He had the Mahavishnu Orchestra and the One Truth Band and Shotki. And then, after his epic guitar summit with Al Di Meola and Paco de Lucia, he started a new band called Belo Horizonte. And I think I have this on CD, but I don't actually remember what it's all about. It's got, it's got a Bill Evans song on here, very early Bill Evans song. And it's got a classical piano player on here, Katia Lebec. So, very kind of a different departure for John McLaughlin. I actually don't know if this band did anything besides this, but great to find it in original shrink wrap for $1. Okay, this is a pretty interesting record. Barry Goldberg. And I didn't know what this was, but I could tell it was in a pile of records with somebody with good taste, so I looked into it a little bit. You can see it has Michael Bloomfield on there. Electric Flag, all the blues stuff he did in the 60s. So if he's playing with Michael Bloomfield, probably pretty good, so I bought it. Barry Goldberg plays organ and keyboards. So I looked up Barry Goldberg, and it turns out he's a really well-known keyboardist player who's been playing, I wrote down some notes here, been playing with, he was in the original Dylan Electric Band, played with Muddy Waters, a lot of those type of people over the years. But the weird thing, this gets weird, I looked him up, and I thought, that name sounds familiar. So Barry Goldberg, who's now in his 70s, played at a club last week directly across the street from the Goodwill where I bought these records at. And I didn't know who he was back then, to be honest, so probably he'll be there again, and I'll go see him next time. So, Barry Goldberg. What else we got here? Tal Farlow, kind of an obscure jazz guitar player, not very well known. I have a couple of his records. This is a 1956 set that was reissued in 1975. Really don't know much about it, but I play guitar, I like jazz. I'll check that out. All right. Here's a giant record, Amadeus, the soundtrack to the movie Amadeus, all about Mozart's life. This was from 1984, double record set. And, ooh, it's got a book too. Scenes from the movie. I think Tom Hulce, was he nominated or did he win for Best Actor? That was an amazing movie. I really hope you go see this movie if you haven't seen it before. If you know nothing about classical music or you don't like classical music, this is still a great story. And this kind of spurned an interest in classical music when this came out, or at least in Mozart. and I was working at the record store back then in 1984, and one of the managers got all into Mozart because of the movie, and he's a pretty famous guitar player now. I won't mention his name. He got all into Mozart, and to commemorate Mozart, other labels were issuing Mozart stuff. So he went out and bought this complete Mozart CD pack. It was, I don't know, 100 or 200 CDs, some ridiculous thing. And if you're new to Mozart, this is probably a good place to start. And this, you don't need that much more than that if you really aren't into classical music. So, make a long story short, he pretty much choked on Mozart in a couple weeks, and I think he returned the 100-disc set. But this is a good place to start if you're new to Mozart, and good deal for $1. Early jazz. Cab Calloway. Is there a picture of Cab in there? You can see him usually playing at the Cotton Club in Harlem in the 20s and 30s. All of these are songs that were recorded on 78, 1930, and 1931. You've heard the tunes like Minnie the Moocher, and what else is on here? St. James Infirmary, You Rascal You, Devil in the Deep Blue Sea. He was like the most colorful, flamboyant singer-dancer of the era. And I have some of his stuff on 78, but pretty cool for $1. Cab Calloway, probably at the Cotton Club. Then there's another pair of records by the same artist, Ravi Shankar. And I just mentioned him in the other video I did because his daughter is Norah Jones, as you know. And after the Beatles got into their whole Indian thing with, George Harrison, suddenly Ravi Shankar became somewhat well known in America. And so this is a classical record, sort of classical record he did with violin player Yehudi Menuhin. This is 1967. They do some Indian music and some American modern, not American, but modern classical music. Enesco Violin Sonata. That's probably pretty strange, but I will check it out. I like weird music. Okay, and match set, 2 Ravi Shankars in a row. Ravi Shankar at the Monterey Pop Festival, 1967. So the Monterey Pop Festival was a big deal, kind of like a precursor to Woodstock. Jimi Hendrix was there, The Who was there. It was Janis Joplin's big debut. And I guess Ravi Shankar did a whole set. And this is the record. It's all Indian raga style music. Gatefold. And you can see the sitar. I really love Monterey. We vacation there sometimes. It is probably the most beautiful part of California. So if you're ever out here, try to get up to Monterey and Carmel, Pebble Beach, all that stuff. Very expensive area, but you can hang out and stay there for a couple days. I played in the Monterey Jazz Festival when I was a student in high school. Someday I'll tell you that story, but I have really fond memories of Monterey, California. All right, guys, that is the giant mega pile of records, $1 each at the Goodwill. Got to clean them, got to catalog them, and hopefully I'll have time to listen to them. Thanks for watching.